Okay, Michael. We worked on a couple key things. When you came in, you were struggling getting the shaft to lean forward. You had a ball that was kind of ballooning up in the air. You know, my assessment was that you were backing out on a little bit. The reason I thought you were backing out was that you were hanging your weight a little bit too much on your left side or your center going back, and you weren't really getting coil behind it. And intuitively, if you get coil behind it, you're going to shift and move through it. And I showed you Roy McIlroy as an example. So here you are when you first walked in the door, and hands and arms kind of lifted the club into position, caused you to get a little bit long at the top, and your spine angle is kind of moving this direction with the shoulder really not getting coiled behind the ball. And then as a result, you back out coming through the shot. You notice how you tilt back behind it, so now you're going to be swinging up on it, and that's going to cause for you to get some lose some face control. Also have an angle of approach that is going to bottom out probably behind the ball and then swing back up on it. So that's why we hit a few fat shots. That's why we were playing Army golf with left, right, okay? And you were getting a lot more launch on the club than you really wanted to get. You wanted to get more of a boring angle of approach and shaft angle that allowed you to be able to keep the ball down, especially into the wind. All right, so we worked on a couple critical things. One was this is you doing a body pivot drill, and I had you really coil behind it nicely like this and load yourself beautifully behind the ball where your left shoulder feels like it's over your right knee. And then from there, we worked on the sensation of rotating and swinging your upper left arm to the point where it can extend out, and the momentum of this then directed the traffic of our unwind. So there wasn't any feeling of swinging up on it. It was a rotation. If you think about your upper left arm, at the top of the backswing, your bicep is in your pec, on your pec. When you start down, you want to feel like you get your tricep rotating back towards your lat muscle. And if you do that, it's going to help you rotate and clear, and everything will work in unison so that you get nice concentric circles. Your hand path will work back around, your hips and your shoulders will unwind correctly, and there won't be any tilting back and laterally sliding. And so these are some simple practices. Let me see if we can see some progression here. Here's after you practiced it for a while, a couple of the critical things in which I showed you. You'll notice, you know, when you first look at it without me drawing lines, you're going, they look about the same, but this one is a little bit longer and looser. Because you coiled behind a little bit more with your shoulders, your spine angle now is loading a little bit more this way instead of tilting back this way. And as a result, you've got a club at the top that looks more here. The other thing that starts to happen is you actually coil into your hip a little bit more, and so you're not sliding it out so much. We're kind of going this way. Now you'll see that it actually leans slightly that way because your hip is pivoting in nicely, and everything coils up, even the knee and the leg. Everything is starting to load a little bit more as a result of it. But the more we practice those little body pivot drills, and that's critical that you put conscious, competent thoughts into what you're doing with your efforts right now, because that'll help you develop swiftly your new paradigm. You can't just think about it, you got to feel the drills. Think of Padraig Harrington and what he did when he won the Honda. Before every shot, he was back there being a conscious, competent. And so build that into your routine, and very quickly you're going to start to get a good feeling for this as being your new normal habit. All right, so until
Hi, I'm Brad Brewer. I'm a PGA professional, and this exercise that I'm going to show you, I explain to all my students. It's about think box, play box. And originally, P. and Nielsen came out with this, and I love it. I share it with almost every student that goes through our program. And the concept is this: when you're learning how to do something different in the golf swing, it's good for you to be conscious about it. So in preparation, you want to stay in your think box, which there's an imaginary line here on the ground. I'm in my think box here. If I cross over here, now I'm in my play box. So back over here in the think box, because we don't want to be thinking in the play box. Over here, I'm going to work on a little drill that I want to feel. So I'm feeling the sensation of what I want to feel right now, feeling the good rhythmic swing that I want. And now I feel like I'm ready to execute the shot. I step out of the think box into the play box. I get ready, and I go. Now, the time you want to spend here is very minimal. I like to be in and out of here in about 5 seconds. If you get in here and you start overthinking, best to kind of step back over here for a second in the think box. Don't think in the play box. That'll help you immensely, and not only improving your technique and bridging the new feel into your ability to create the habit, but it also will be a routine you can take to the golf course and play with.